want to thank Narayani and Nadia for keeping our international communications. It is very important for us to speak about Krishna consciousness in no matter language we have. Right now we have a AI that translates to any language, whether it's Russian, Chinese, Spanish. So soon we'll be able to communicate in any language in real time, which I believe is the great opportunity for the world to embrace Krishna consciousness. But also it's important for us to understand that Krishna consciousness is not something that is a culture for very few strange people who believe in ancient Indian gods and, kind of like, Tolkien or Native American followers or Avatar movie, dress up on the weekend and go to the cosplay and speak strange names and strange words. No, it's not what it is. Krishna consciousness is ancient civilization, which has basically been shadowed by Mike misconception of modern time. And whatever we know about this civilization, it's very, very little. In fact, we understand very little about modern history of the world, where the world is running, the world we live in, because we've been sent to the screen and our study books. And as we know, very important statement, if you want to change history, become historian. So from modern studies, we know that history is something that's been changed constantly. In fact, in our own lifetime, we see how many times history has been changed. So we were enemies of the West, now we're friends of the West, now we're enemies of the West again. So people can say like, hey, what's going on here? Enemies, friends, enemies, friends. And so we can understand it's a pure manipulation. And interestingly, that manipulation that we are experiencing in this world is not just about history, it's probably about everything. Like everything we know, it's wrong, not because it's a lie, it's because our perception is wrong. So, like for instance, one of the greatest writers of the time, Oscar Wilde, said, art for the sake of art is the lie to tell the truth. So what does it really mean? It means that angle of vision, under which angle of vision we review the news, under each angle of vision we review our own self. Under each angle of vision we are reviewing reality that we're dealing with. And everybody needs some source of information. For most people, it's just a fake news. But for advanced people, it's philosophy and Vedas and deeper perception of reality. That's why we had ancient rishis. Here in Thailand, they call them rishi. And I asked local Thai people who the rishis are. And they say, oh, we don't know. There's some kind of mystic people. I say, well, it's an interesting rishi from Sanskrit word drishti. Drishti means to see, to experience world different, like a shaman. Shaman will give you the world experience by giving you ayahuasca or DMT or LSD, and you will take that substance and you'll see a world as a different way. But really, this is not the way to see the world. There's other way to see the world through pure mind, through the pure consciousness. That's called Krishna consciousness. And when you see the world through Krishna consciousness, you start seeing connections, everything connect with divine, and even your own life. Like sometimes people experience a certain time they cannot do things, and certain times they can do things. So when you go to study Vedic astrology, they will explain them. The planets affect you, the universe affects you, the fire, earth, ether, everything affects you. And so the yogi, he understands how this whole material elements working, and if he conquer material elements, he become unconquerable. But really, this is very little piece of material knowledge. It's not even spirituality, because spirituality means that you understand behind everything is Supreme Lord. That's why Krishna says in the Gita, Bhoktaryam Yagya Tapasyam Sarvaloki Maheshwaram. I'm behind everything. Yagya, Tapasya, I'm source of every religion, I'm source of every activity. Then somebody say, hey, the God must be source of war. No, Krishna say, no, I'm not source of war. I'm source of freedom, which is misused by people. I'm source of knowledge that has been misused by ignorance. I'm source of love, which is misused by hate. I'm source of light, which is misused by dark. And you will see that a lot of people, especially the people who are running this world, mainly they're worshippers of Satan. And they call Satan as light giver. It's interesting. But really what they think is, they think about some kind of mundane power, material power, which conquer, divinity. But they don't understand. Even evil forces are created by God. Why? Why did God create evil forces? Because evil is something very important for us to appreciate love and divinity. If there's no evil, there's no dark, there's no light. So Krishna, creating this material world, allow evil to play its own role. So whatever we have and see evil around us, we should understand that's also part of divine plane. It's been allowed to express yourself in the most negative conditions in this world. But at the same time, you do know that there is a full opportunity to express your own spiritual self. And mostly, it's a very rare, small group of people here in the material world. Because how many normal people you'll find in prison? None, or very few. But in world of light and world of love, everybody is, divine. So as soon as you acquire spiritual qualities, you're no longer eligible for prison. You're released from prison, and you're moving forward to the world of love and affection. And at this very much point, we are prisoners of material world. And being prisoner of material world, we can become a criminal who have very much experience how to exploit prison and be the king of the prison. Or we can give it up, the prison mentality, and transform. And as soon as our transformation is done, we are 100% free. So that is the purpose of material life. To not to suffer, not to enjoy, to transform, to change, to appreciate, to go on a deeper level, and to become somebody we're meant to be, not somebody we feel we are right now. Right now, we are just dealing with our own mind, senses, physical avatar. But behind this physical avatar, there's a spiritual being hiding under a layer of skin, mind, and senses. And that spiritual being has nothing to do with this temporarily physical appearance, because that appearance, the body that we have, is a result of our karma, whether good or bad. And the only real ourselves, we look in our own eyes. You understand? So it's like a shadow reality of myself. And so when I get old, I think, oh, I'm very old. Where I'm a baby, I was, it's very young. But really, Bhagavad Gita has explained that soul has never changed. Soul has its own divine form. But in this dreamlike world, you think like you're young or like you're old, but it's not really you. It's the body, mind, and senses that go into transformation. So it's the question of inner self, inner consciousness, Krishna consciousness, and what will connect you with spiritual world, what will connect you with divinity. And that's what important is. Everything else doesn't really have any reason for this world. There always will be the wars. There always will be the hate. There's always will be the peace afterwards. This is the way world work. If you really look at the history of the world, Roman Empire, these people rule like half the world at that time. And they, country like Romania used to be Dacia. But Romans came and they killed everyone in Romania, and they renamed it. So Dacia even lost its existence because everyone were killed, children, women, and they just said, no, it's Romania. And they put their own veterans, their own people in this country. So that's a tragical story. But who remembers about that right now? No one cares. Oh, Romania. They don't really even understand that's not even your country. It's been completely destroyed. So how many of those kind of civilizations, empires, was destroyed? And at that time, when Rome was ruled by the great Roman Empire, people thought it's impossible to destroy Rome. And how did Rome destroy? It's destroyed itself, with the help of barbarians. So we understand the cycle of time, the cycle of reality. In even great civilizations like Vedic civilization, Hastinapur, a civilization of great Vedic kings where Krishna, Arjuna, and all these great kings used to rule. At a certain time, it was completely lost. It was almost destroyed. It was conquered by Timurlan, by a bunch of Uzbeki guys, and then was conquered by British. And finally, these people call it India. And just like maybe 5 years ago, they say, no, we're not India, we're Bharata. We're not even India. India is somebody, colonial name. We've got it from British. We don't like that name. But the politics work in such that the group of very wealthy people control India. So even the Indians themselves, they cannot do much. But when we talk about spiritual awakening, it's coming all over the world, including India. That's why we're trying to preach Krishna consciousness in a very modern, high-tech, and cultural way with domes, exhibitions, online. And we're moving towards the spiritual experience because we believe that this is the only way we can communicate with modern people, because in modern civilization, people looking at technology, they look at the mobile phone more than they look at anything else. So right now we're using our mobile phones to communicate, but we're using this technology to communicate about Krishna. So any questions or comments about Krishna consciousness, if anybody has?
Any devotees? Please raise your hand or type the question into chat box.
It sounds like we're using Zoom, but everybody keeping private silence.
No, yeah.
Which is completely opposite what is Zoom made for, because Zoom made is to Zoom, to, like, I see Jivana smile, Nadia smile, and I feel so much joy to see them because I'm talking to real people, not their avatar, not pictures.
Мои поклоны, Гурудев, поклоны всем преданным. Можно по-русски, да, я буду говорить.
Maharaj, you started like this and what's the Krishna consciousness? When your mind gets engaged, but then you understand you have no faith, you have no Krishna consciousness, I mean myself. And when the mind turned on, it tells, oh, you imagined something, like you invented some image and you served some people of your fantasy. You're like going crazy. Your mind is asking you, why are you doing this? What for? Every evening you read some bhajans and my mind says, don't even get the sense of this and how to keep your faith. If you don't have anyone, any devotees around you. Because one thing, when the association shares some energy with you, but when you're alone, that's the different thing.
Hey, Johnny, very good question. So Johnny asking, how should we keep the faith when we live like, when you live in prison, everybody's prisoner around you, and everybody kind of a criminal. And you talking about love, compassion, and they say, hey, come on, you crazy. Like, you're in prison, there's different rules here. And you say, well, I don't want to become a prisoner. I want to change. I want to go for the world of love. I believe in that. Maybe I not understand what world of love is because I'm born in this prison, but my heart feels that there's just something else. There's something deeper and more refined in the world that I live in. I'm supposed to be. That is association. Remember, Krishna Bhakti Janma Hoy Mul Sadhu Sangha. We have to associate with devotees. And by association of devotees, we nourishing our soul. This is very important, because if you don't associate with devotees, passively or actively, and you are doing wonderful service, by the way, I want to admire you're doing wonderful service. But yes, sometimes it's very difficult to believe in a world of disbelief. Like if you really look at the TV, the news are crazy. You know, like you have to hate somebody. What the news make you is make you hate somebody, and they give you the reason why you have to hate. Oh, they bombed the children, you have to hate them. Oh, now you have to hate these children. You know, it's like, it's in and out. So you're living in a world of propaganda and hate. And this is provoking your hate in your heart. But if you are going to the world of believe in Krishna consciousness, it will establish your love. That will grow your love. So I think what you should do is you should get out of the world of hate to the world of love, to the world of Krishna. And you say, this is my world. That's where I want to live. Even if this world is not real, because some people say, what if God does not exist? But Bhaktivinoda Thakur answered, but this is a beautiful idea, right? People live by ideas. Somebody believe in communism, but communism never achievable, but somebody being communist, somebody being capitalist, he's working all his life to earn money and to become rich. He may never get rich, but he believes in this idea. So why don't believe in the idea of love and Krishna? This is the most beautiful idea. So even Krishna does not exist for you today on real level. He's existing in your consciousness. That's why we say Krishna consciousness. But when your consciousness becomes real substantial, then you see real Krishna. One day it's going to happen for sure. And you can say, well, what if it's not going to happen? And what if there's millions and billions of life? But it's not a question of billions of life. This question is like, do you believe in world of love? Do you believe in potential world of love? If you believe in potential world of love and immortality, that billions of lives is like 1 second. Remember, for gopis, they believe that separation of 1 second is like blink of eye with Krishna. At the same time, they believe, okay, if you can wait billions of lives to meet lotus feet of Krishna, it's worth it. Because it's nothing compared to world of immortality. Remember, you live in a world where 24 hours. Krishna live in a world Ashtakali Lila. It's just a cycle of time, but spiritual time. Time is serving Krishna. Here's time is moving the atomic particle, and you go from birth to death. And that's what the time meant for. But really, the time has no power over love, over Krishna consciousness. So by being involved in something divine, you become part of divine. And that's where it's important. So when you're doing this in your own little town with your own neighbors and friends who live in completely their world, what is the source of their inspiration? News, newspaper, maybe books, Tolstoy, Dostoevsky. But if source of your inspiration is world of beauty and devotees, and the fact is that you are doing something for that with all your life and all your heart, I think make a lot of sense for your life. And I think you've given yourself into this beautiful process. And yeah, maybe you can have some bad relationship with devotees. Maybe you can have some fight with devotees. Sometimes it happens when people live together, they fight. You know, they're it's not like devotees don't never fight or devotees never have problems. They do. And sometimes even leaders. I think the most, I would say, people that are responsible for community, sometimes they act super irresponsibly because they just don't really understand their relationships. Because see, like if you see the big politicians, even if China does not like America or Ukraine does not like Russia, but somebody say, well, you have to sit down and talk about your problems. I don't want to talk to anybody. But really, the end of every war is negotiation. You should understand it. It's not like you just end the war. No, you have to sit down and negotiate. And in Mahabharata, if you really look at Mahabharata, what is the end of Mahabharata? Draupadi forgiving the enemy. Because war is not end when everybody killed. War is ending in your brain. So the love and forgiveness, that's what can end any war. And at the same time, hate will break any peace. That's why there's a famous saying about Vojna and Mir by Tolstoy, because it's about French and Russians killing each other. But at the end of the story, this big epic described the stories of people's lives. And remember, the Russians who hate and kill French used to speak French and love France. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like you fighting against something that you love. And even in your spare time, because you're inspired about French culture, you're speaking French rather than Russian. But at the same time, you are in a situation like this, where you have to be in an inimical group. But the final story, when the French general enslaved Russian general, Napoleon, he showed him respect. He gave him wine. And he say, like, why don't you go talk to your king and tell them to surrender? And the Russian general tell them, with all my respect to you as an enemy, I'm not going to do that. See, it's like, on the end, it's all about human dealings and sympathy, not empathy. And so when you're dealing with Krishna consciousness, you're dealing with a particular different way of realizing people, not because they're Russians or Ukrainians or French or Germans, because they're devotees. Even there might be enemy today, but they're devotees. So like, why we have our family of Ukrainian and Russian devotees and we don't fight? Why? Because we love each other. We pray for each other well-being, and no one can break our deep heart relationship. And the people who doesn't want to be part of that spiritual family, they have a full right to go to war and defeat their beliefs, but they don't understand. The only war is continuous that people agree to do that. Like if somebody would tell, so now Avadhut Maharaj, you have to kill Nadia. I say, no, let Nadia kill me. And Nadia said, no, I'm not going to do it. So no war, no chance to put us against each other, because we not looking for reason. And believe me, even in spiritual life, people try to do oppositions, and they try to do it all the time. They try to do it with me. So one time I said to Swami Maharaj, I said, yes, there's some devotees, they're complaining about me. And I think it's okay, because I'm not the perfect person. I don't have any problem criticizing me, especially my God brothers. But when they go into my disciples, like when you go to your mother, and when you go to the mother children and start criticizing mother, children doesn't want to hear that, because children love their mother. And they say, yeah, I don't like that. It's not healthy. So if you want to criticize your mother, go to my mother and talk to her. Why are you talking to me? She's my mother. I love her. So these are the principles of love. And even devotees, sometimes they fight. And even amongst devotees, there are some politicians. Like we have one great sannyasi, very great man, but he never does involve in politics. But by mistake, he's a friend of politicians. And if you become a friend of politicians, you must be involved in politics. Do you understand? That's why in Bhagavad Gita, in scriptures, they warn you, don't be friend of politicians and religious people, because religious leaders in this world, most likely, they don't follow spiritual goals, because they believe, oh, now I'm in charge of religion, I can manipulate people to my own goals. So that's why I wouldn't trust religious organizations. So one American person told me, I hate organized religions. I said, I hate too, for two reasons. Number one, I try organized religion all my life, never happens. Second of all, remember, I know what organized religion is. It's almost impossible to organize. So once you organize it, it becomes something else. It's no longer religion, because religion means heart-to-heart transaction. If I appreciate Narayani, I appreciate you, you appreciate me. That's what unites us. Not because you're a member of the church, or you have an Indian dress or tilak. That's not what make us devotees. We as a devotees, we wear the tilak, we put it in a dress when festival or temple, but that's not why we're here. And The reason we're here, because we all need to share with our heart. So if somebody will tell me, oh, Avadhut Maharaj, are you perfect? I say, no, I'm not perfect. I have many, many imperfections. You know, everybody know I'm not perfect. The only problem, my guru have seen some potential in me. Then I cannot deny my guru. My guru told me, you must become a great devotee and guru. And I told him, no way, Maharaj. No way, Gurudev. I don't think I can do it. But my guru said, no, 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 you should try. So I'm trying to do what my guru told me to do. And everyone, remember, it's not about what we are, it's our potential. So any other questions?
Yes, Maharaj, we have question from, thank you, Jivana Didi, for a question. It's very nice to hear. And Ananta Shesh from Spain, he's asking a question about Lord Chaitanya. Dandavat Maharaj, in Chaitanya Lila, Lord Chaitanya appears before and after sannyasa. Which period and significance is more important for us? Why do we worship Lord Chaitanya in the form before taking sannyas?
Okay, that's a good question. Remember, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have different functions. Actually, there's not one Chaitanya, there's two, at least. One is called original Chaitanya, and one is Chaitanya Avatar. Just like in Krishna Lila, the original Krishna is a son of Devaki, a son of Nanda and Yashoda. And Krishna, which is avatar of Vishnu, is son of Devaki and Vasudeva. So what is the difference? The original Krishna is playing in Vrindavan. And other expansion of Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita, going to the Dvaraka, fighting with the demons. And that Krishna is avatar. But the original Krishna, who's coming from Goloka Vrindavan, a very deep way, is Krishna Yashodanandan. He is not avatar, he is avatari, he's the source of avatars. And sometimes people cannot understand that two Krishna can coexist, but Krishna has many Krishnas according to his divine will. So in Chaitanya Lila is the same. There's a Chaitanya avatar who's coming every Kali Yuga to teach people Sankirtan. And he is a great teacher, a God who's taken position of teacher, sannyasi, and he's giving the teachings. But for devotees who already have devotion, it's important to see as original Chaitanya come, born in Navadvip, and he play his pastimes. And those pastimes is very sweet, very divine, and they have deep, deep meaning. And this deep meaning is coming to hearts of devotees and their deep enjoyment of that sweetness, because Mahaprabhu is Radha Bhava Duty Subolitam Nome Krishna Swarupam. He's Krishna who's taken mood of Radha, and he wants to feel Radha's love. And whatever he does is leading him to that experience. Therefore, the real devotees, they love to worship Mahaprabhu not as a sannyasi, as a Chaitanya who live in Navadvip. Because sannyasi for them is secondary. It's for not for the devotees, it's for outside of devotion. He teaches devotion, but devotees already have devotion. Therefore, they enjoy the pastimes of Mahaprabhu in Navadvip, and after he takes sannyas, they understand he plugged in the second part of his lila, and in that second part of his lila, what normally he does, he plug in specific devotional pastimes in Gambhira. And that these pastimes are for 12 years very confidential. So they're basically just like Navadvip pastimes, they're open for everybody, but the Gambhira pastimes are confidential. So that is why, Gambhira pastimes very difficult to understand. It's last 12 years of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life. There he's not preaching so much. So we're not revering him at this point as a preacher, more as a Krishna, the testing heart of Radharani. You understand? Am I clear in English? You should listen my yesterday's speech about Chaitanya Charitamrita with John F. Prabhu. Because most people, even in our mission, they don't understand these details because they don't follow deeply Krishna consciousness. And they've been introduced to general concept. But Guru Maharaj and Gurudev all about deep concept. Guru Maharaj is not just giving generic Krishna consciousness. He is giving some depth, super high level, deep perception of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And even Srila Prabhupada want his deep knowledge. That's why we're in this line. However, like, Madhusudana Maharaj, sometimes he loved to give very general ideas to people. He loved to show how to put up tilak, how to wake up. I remember I told Maharaj, we need to film like a day of devotee. Because I had all this idea a long time to make like a school. And ISKCON, they make like a bhakti school. But I make in one kind of level from 0 to infinity. And I would like to, in my own school, I like to start from very common things, but then take people to very high things. And it does not matter that if you start from 0 to infinity or from infinity to 0, you still have to go one way or another way. So you can start from very deep things, but still then you have to understand very general ideas. Or you start from very general ideas, go like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, as you want, because it's all connected. Like my understanding of philosophy, like there's yoga philosophy, and there's so much in there, but Vaishnavas don't follow that. But not all Vaishnavas. Many Vaishnavas they know mystic yoga very well, because mainly Yoga Sutra and other scriptures is the speech of Vishnu. And Patanjali, he was incarnation of Ananta Shesh. So Patanjali was not ordinary person. He's incarnation of Adi Guru, the Balarama, who came in India and teach people mystic yoga. But here is the problem. In Kali Yuga, people are not eligible to do mystic yoga, and they have no enough courage and understanding and physical and mental power to do that. But Kali Yuga is the time of Bhakti Yoga. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he came in perfect time with a perfect method. And that perfect method called Harinam Sankirtan, a congregational chanting of holy names. That is the religion of Kali, means Dharma, Yuga Dharma, for all of us. And soon you will see, everybody will take it. One way or another way, it will be spread all over the world. Especially I begin after this world will end. And because the world will live and will end very soon. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just trying to say the world is changing. And it's changing within our eyes. And the demons that are perceiving the change, they think they have their own plan, but Krishna has his own plan. So obviously everything's going by Krishna's plan. So if we're lucky, we'll see a different world with different reality, and Krishna consciousness will be more and more increasing at this world. And finally, for some time, it will take over the world. But everything has a cycles, beginning, middle, and end. So I have 10% of my battery, and we have another event coming soon. So let's go for another 10 minutes if anybody has any questions. Meanwhile, I can eat this chocolate. На здоровье. Хорошо, хорошо.
Здоровья, Maharaj. I know that Narayani has some question, and maybe she will ask.
I'm offering this chocolate to you, but I'm eating myself.
And Yashodanandan Das also has question. Yes, Yashodanandan Das, Prabhu, please. In any language.
Дандаваты. Спасибо, что конфетку мне дали. Это хорошо. Я попрошу Надю перевести на англійський. Я коли спілкуюся з йогами, вони часто питають, який процес роботи з умом. Тобто спочатку ти не ототожнюєш себе з умом, і розумієш, що ум і думки – це не ти. Але який далі шлях? Тобто, як його заспокоїти, якщо вони не читають мантру і не готові, наприклад, читати, вони займаються тільки, наприклад, фізичною йогою. Які, можливо, рекомендації дасть Махарадж? Дякую.
Narayani is asking, like, when she communicates with people who practice yoga, they are curious how to work with the mind. So the first stage is that you should realize that you are not your mind and you are not your thoughts. But what is the next level and how to control the mind if they are not practicing mantra meditation, for example?
Well, remember, in original yoga of Patanjali and mystic yoga, you don't start with mantra. The Patanjali himself explained, because you're on the level of physical body, it's much easier for you to train your physics than to train your mind. So Patanjali's system, you start from your body, and gradually you go into the mind, and gradually you go to the meditation. In Bhakti Yoga, we have different ideas. We're going directly to Krishna, and by chanting names of Krishna, we're conquering our mind and senses. If we are practicing properly, everything in any yoga, the question is if you're practicing properly. If you go to the doctor and say, I'm taking this medicine, and a qualified doctor said, what is your medicine dose? Or like this, or you're not taking enough. Oh no, I'm taking exactly what you promised, but do you follow diet? No, I don't follow diet. Okay, so it's not just like medicine, diet, it has to all come together. So Patanjali himself explained that in mystic yoga, we begin from physical exercise like fasting, building your body, building a discipline. That makes your conquer your body and mind from external point of view. And then you go to the subtle level that chant the mantra, yam, yam, asana, pranayama. So if people do asana, they're not ready to pranayama. If people do pranayama, then they have to go to, ultimate kumbhak, non-breathing, the chanting, etc. But in real yoga, like Raja Yoga, you will see that even asana and pranayama is done with mantra. Even when you breathe, that's called hum, mantra. You're chanting mantra with your breath in mystic yoga. So, and that is depending on teachers. See, my understanding of most people that teach yoga, they don't understand what it is. Because their thinking is about physical self, it's about mental stage, because they don't really learn from original teachers. In fact, normally Krishna yoga came from several teachers to the West, such as Krishna Namacharya, Iyengar, and all these teachers, or Mayavadi teachers who doesn't really understand purpose of yoga. But Krishna in Bhagavad Gita very clearly explain what the purpose of yoga, in a very short way, actually. He's talking about posture, because in mystic yoga, there's only one posture, it's lotus posture, actually 5. If you go to Yoga Upanishad, it will tell you there's only 5 asanas, Simhasana, Bhadrasana, Padmasana, etc. It's all this combination of Padmasana. Then he will tell you, well, then you have to conquer your breath with pranayama, then you're with the mantra, chanting mantra, you will go to the ultimate realization. And in a book like Padma Samhita, Baladev Vidyabhushan explain how the sound moving to chakra, etc. So it's a very mystical way. So that it's not that Vaishnava teachers don't know this. Remember, people like Baladev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakravarti, and other people, they were expert in spiritual scriptures. Jiva Goswami, he was expert in all scriptures. He read all scriptures. And half of his life, he studied under Madhusudan Saraswati, who is Mayavadi yogi, a type of Jnani philosopher. So it's not, our teachers don't know the Kashmiri Shaiva, Shorta Siddhanta, or South Indian Shaiva Siddhanta, or Vaishnava Siddhanta. They knew all the Puranas and all the scriptures. But they understood the meaning of scriptures and meaning of yoga, and that is devotion. So that's why Krishna say, my opinion, you start from devotion. But Krishna does not say, oh, you don't do yoga, or like you don't do pranayama, you don't do meditation. Krishna said, yeah, you can actually do that, but it all has to lead to devotion. So if you can understand the goal of yoga is devotion to me, then you start from devotion. Otherwise, in yoga, you have to go for millions of lives to become a yogi. But in Kali Yuga, this is not possible. You have very short life. You have very weak mind. So you're not going to master this expertise with mystic yoga in your present mind, married mind. I went to just Nepal recently, a few weeks back, and I asked my driver, is there any Baba yogis here? He said, no. This should be like a field of yogis, that place. And I met some, sadhus there, and I was not very impressed with them. So nowadays, if you just move to the mountains, but you have the same problem, like all sadhus sitting with mobile phones, just like you and I. So it's like, yeah, maybe they do some spiritual life, but final, it's chanting of holy name. That's what the most powerful. So today I record specific recording daytime. I record 2 classes about chanting of holy name, and I think it's very useful. And I will continue to describe that. So chanting of holy name is the most powerful technique, which really, really oversees any kind of spiritual activity and perfections. And if you don't appreciate this, there's 2 reasons. You have no faith and you have no intelligence. Now, why you have no intelligence? Because you have not studied real yogic scriptures. If you would have studied real yogic scriptures and you would really try mystic yoga, which, I did that. Not that I did this to the end, but I've read those scriptures, and I understood what it's all about because I'm interested. I'm naturally curious, and I thought, well, can I do this or can I do that? And some things I've learned from that, but it's not what I would say. You'll take to become master, long time, and you probably have to have different body at different time. And maybe thousands of years ago, that was the way before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. So I don't deny the Buddhists or the yogis or the people from South or West. But after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, this whole thing has just become it's like mobile telephone, analog telephone. Do you understand? It's like time change. It's like walking by foot or driving by plane. All right, I wouldn't drive by plane. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a plane. If you want to walk by feet, there's no problem. But the problem is you have to walk a very long time. Or join the plane of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of Sankirtan. It's up to you, your choice. So mind is very difficult to control. And when you deal with people who's very gross, you don't try to enforce them. You just try to become their friend. And as they purify it a little bit themselves, if there's mercy, they can listen about bhakti. Bhakti is not for everybody. Bhakti is the highest. It's the king of yoga. It's just like, remember, there's 8 levels of understanding of God. 8 levels, according to Bhaktisiddhanta. Somebody thinking, oh, God is like Ganesh, is like my security company. Oh, God is like impersonal, or God is this, God is that. And only on the highest level you realize, no, he's Krishna, he's a beautiful person, he's a dancer. So not everybody is going to jump into it. And this is very exclusive. So you'd be lucky that you got into that. And you have that belief. And everybody else, you just give your love and compassion and help. And you can see many of these people, they like you, they support you. They think you're yogini, they think you know some higher knowledge. So use that as advantage, not as disadvantage. I only have 5% of my battery left, so I can be cut off at any time. But I'd like to thank you for being with me tonight, and I want to thank Narayani and Nadia and all the Jivana and all the girls, Tulsi, Yashodanandan and Vasudha Devi and Abhazia devotees. I will be speaking tonight in Russian and Telegram. I try to do every day except Monday. I record today 2 lectures because every day I'm thinking, my life is very short. And by speaking about Krishna, by teaching people, I teach myself. Remember, it's not just I'm so great and you're the disciple. No, we're meant to learn from each other. That's what really make us the devotees. And I appreciate you listening, because if your heart, like Jivana's sincere heart, you know, I want to give her my heart. She's sincere. I want to give her sincere answer, not some kind of bullshit. Because if we would speak with some non-devotees, yeah, we would be political. We would say like this, like that. But in devotional attitude and devotional family, we don't need to do politics. We don't have to be nice. We just have to be, you know, lovingly, straightforward, honest to ourselves, grateful and faithful to our gurus, and that will create the proper impact in our heart. So I want to thank you all for being here today, and we should continue on English, because I'm preparing a lot of material. It's just, you know, I'm going a little bit of a stressful situation here in Thailand. I'm trying to change some, projects, and we have many we're building museum, we're doing full dome. So I'm kind of like busy with many things, and that's why I'm not so concentrated on like preaching. But if anybody can help putting together the classes, the lectures that I do in different languages through artificial AI, the Chinese, the Spanish, the Portuguese, because I'm trying to make lectures for common people from 0 to infinity. Means like, because, you know, it's not a problem being below 0 even. So we also have to start somewhere. So my idea is like, I'm not trying to say I'm such an esoteric person with only deep things. No, I want to say, look, we all have to start somewhere. We all have to grow, and we all have to go through the transformation. And whether we create, devotee long-time experience or new devotee, we have believe me, people have the same problems. The problems are the same, and most of them ego. It's like, whether you great so-called sannyasi preacher, you must have a great ego. And ego is the problem, because ego is something that really keep you in a particular belief system or shapes. And Govinda Maharaj, he never displayed ego. He was so great, but like for the common man, he would speak like a common man. You understand? He would understand common man problem. Yeah, everybody suffer from mind. Everybody suffer from relationships. Everybody suffer, and this is a world of suffering. That's what I realized recently, for recent few years, when problems started happening in my life. I understood, yeah, this is a world of suffering. I really want to help people to overcome that, because I'm suffering myself. And what am I suffering from? Not follow what I learned. If I would follow, I would not suffer, but I don't follow, that I suffer. It's very simple. Like, there's no exceptions. There's only one rule. But, you know, in devotional life, at least you suffer for Krishna, which is very good. Because otherwise, people don't know what they're suffering for. And that's a great problem. So stay in touch. Hare Krishna, my Dandavad Pranam. Большое спасибо всем сегодня за участие.
Thank you very much for participating today. I want to thank one more time all these devotees. Present devotees, I'm very happy. I want to do streaming to all the platforms, because I think that Telegram is a very narrow platform. Before I was preaching to Instagram, then Tulsi found some soft where you can stream to all the platforms. I don't even know the passwords on my phone. I'll try to improve that. I'll say that we have lectures, and with the help of the artificial intelligence, I would like to translate those into all languages. We found already methods to do that, and we need the helpers to do that, to translate live streams, live lectures. I try to do small pieces of lectures, 10 minutes for that purpose, and we need to do this, and we need a company, the team of volunteers. Now Sankarshan is doing it, but he has also many tasks. We need a Spanish channel, Italian channel, Chinese channel, etc. And at the same time, we can discuss the deep topics, because question about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's not the first grade of Krishna consciousness, and there's more deep ideas. So, friends, we need your help, your volunteering in the preaching programs, because frequently I've heard that people told me what to do. They know how to do it properly. They said, why do you, Avadhut Maharaj, work with the devotees? But with whom else should I work? For me, any work it's the service. It's either food home or exhibitions. I do not have separation into business and Hare Krishna. My love, my separation, my drinking and sobering, all in Hare Krishna. Just some, you might have like material life, and then you go to Hare Krishna to purify yourself. But we do our sins, so to say, and we improve here in one place. We do not separate our material, professional life and Hare Krishna life. I cannot afford that. I have just one life, and it's Hare Krishna life with all the consequences included. We should reach, we should try for that, that our life would become Hare Krishna life. Whatever life I have, business or many children, that's my one life. I have many imperfections, but I have to go through them, and I have to learn. It's okay if I do the same mistake several times. One day I will learn. The Lord took many people, not because they were good, not because He understood that they will not get out of the material world themselves. So remember, you should devote yourself to the Lord, surrender, and then the Lord might take you. Remember that the Lord notices all your efforts. They are not in vain, but it's by the mercy, it's by the will of the Lord that He takes you to Himself. Don't try to estimate others. Try to evaluate yourself. I hope that some of you will contact Sankarshan Prabhu to help him with the content. We need some pipeline, some idea how to move in a new way. And now in my head I have many projects on content, preaching, animation. My day starts in the morning and finishes at 2 a.m. And today I already had several recordings, 7 lectures. And that's like constant process. I have to preach, I have to communicate with some partners, with some Chinese guests. I understand that we can do preaching in China through them, in Europe. So I have to do a lot. And we need a team. I'm very grateful to Chintamani, to Narayani, to all the Bhaktas, to Tulasi, to everyone who participates. Not on the level, okay, let's talk about Hare Krishna. No. Each of you can do some clips and send it, share with your friends, or repost something. Then we do the Sankirtan. Then we extend expand
Когда
our
приходят новые
spiritual
люди,
whirlpool,
а люди
expand
творческие, обратите
some
внимание, вот у нас
artistic
пришел такой Павел Прем-Дас, это же
devotees
человек,
come
который
to us, artistic
супер
friends.
талантливый режиссер,
For
создавал
example,
цирк du Soleil.
Pavel, now he's Prem Das,
Я ему
came
сейчас
to
говорю,
us,
понимаете, Павел, вы супер
and
талантливый человек,
he
но
was
вы должны стать
doing
гуру для
a
студентов, для
Cirque
молодежи.
du
Представляете,
Soleil.
всех актеров мира подсадить на
And I
сцене
told
Кришны.
him,
Кто может это сделать? Только
Pavel,
великий
you're
режиссер, которого все
very
уважают.
artistic
Корпорации
man, but
занимаются
you have to
йогой,
be
кто-то
guru for the
подсаживает
new
женщин на сцене
generation.
Кришны, кто-то через
Nobody does yoga,
терапию,
someone
кто-то
does
через
art
построение
therapy,
проповедь, кто-то
some
через игры, кто-то
people
через
act
карты,
through
кто через
cards,
что угодно.
some
Понимаете, мы как цыгане
through
должны вот
transformation
одно заглушить
games.
другим. И поэтому
We
вот сейчас у
should
нас
be
идет
like
второй круг, там
gypsies.
сидит наш
We
главный
should
цыган,
do,
Санкаршин,
we
что-то там
should use
ворожит.
all the ways
И вот.
possible.
Я ему сказал прекрасно,
Now
через карты
Sankarshan, he's our main
двигать
gypsy man.
детей, чтобы они понимали карму,
I told him, let's do through the
осознанность и так
cards,
далее.
tarot cards,
Поэтому на каждом уровне
to show
есть
people what's
процесс.
consciousness,
Мои поклоны
etc.
дорогие.
So,
Я
my
всех
dandavats
обнимаю.
to
Спасибо,
all.
Ананта Шеш. Мечтаю увидеть тебя опять в Индии,
Thank
когда
you,
у тебя
Ananta
будет время.
Shesh. I hope to see you in India
Спасибо Наде,
again
спасибо
when you
Нарайне,
have
спасибо Абхазский Бак, наши
time.
брамани, наши Бринда Диди, Вайшнава
Thanks to
Дас,
all the
все другие.
devotees.
I want to thank everybody who English speaking hiding here. Wish to see your faces once again, because Zoom is face-to-face representation, and I just have about 1% of my battery left. So with this wonderful Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri
Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Bimala Avadhut Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.